Good afternoon.
Brian, can you just Yaya? Obviously, we talked a lot in the preseason about how close he was to a big season last year.
Yeah.
What has he done differently as far as the first few games to get where he's at? Because he's now, one of the best out there in the ACC.
Yeah. Well, I think what he's done is he prepared himself this all season. Number one, I think he did a great job. Getting himself in really good shape, getting a lot stronger in the weight room, and I think he's a little bit more flexible as well, just with his flexibility. And he's just done a heck of a job. All summer long through fall camp. You could see it. He was almost unblockable a good bit of time in fall camp, and he just has that mindset now that he really wants to be dominant. And once if he keeps that up, he's gonna make him a lot of money. Hopefully, come May of next year.
Coach, when you're facing an opponent like Boston College, you have a solid quarterback, some great receivers, but their weakness so far has been that offensive line. What's does that get you excited? I guess preparing for an opponent like that, and how do you prepare for something like that?
Well, I think traditionally Boston College has always been able to run the football. Right now they're averaging I think 60 yards per game. So we want to make sure we continue to put an emphasis on that because that's been the MO for I don't know how many years now, and they still have guys that can still run the football. They got guys up front that can move people as well. We want to make sure we continue to put emphasis on that. And as far as those guys passing the football, and got some really good receivers that are really solid. I mean, you start with Zay Flowers, who's probably one of the best receivers in the ACC that has speed, very quick. They're going to try to get him the ball any way possible. We got to make sure we know where he is, each and every down. And if we can do that and tackle well, again, like we showed this past Saturday, we should be in for a really, really good fight.
Brian, given how you guys performed against a pretty solid USF offensive line, and couple that with the fact that BC's offensive line has kind of struggled a little bit, is this a game where maybe you could see yourself dialing up the pressure a little bit more?
I don't want to give away our game plan, but I think we just got to do a great job of being able to read our keys and play fast like we did this weekend. And when we're able to pin our ears back, of course, and get after the passer, we're really, really, really good. I think in the passing game we're I think like top 30 and top 29 or whatever in the country in pass defense right now. Top 15 in sacks. I think we're 13th in sacks. So if we can do that and get those guys to be one-dimensional, I feel pretty good about our matchups and things of that nature. But we just got to go play and see where the chips fall.
Brian, it feels like in the first four games, Dorian Jones is kind of flashing all over the field. Do you see the same thing from him?
He has. Dorian has worked his tail off again, like we talked about Yaya this summer. He's a gym rat as well, and he's one of those kids that just loves football. He comes from Florida, down South Florida, to where that's all they do is play football down there in his area. And we recruited Doran when we was at App State, at that time, and he hasn't changed. He's a football junkie that loves football, and he's doing a great job in preparation, understanding what we're trying to get done defensively, but also understanding what he needs to get done, whether it's in the passing game or the run game, and he's playing really, really fast right now, and hopefully he continues that.
Each week you talked about tackling better. Obviously you did in this game, and it appeared to be just a real aggressive mindset attacking the ball. Was that sort of the gist of what you preached last
Absolutely.
week?
All week, we preach, hey, we shown glimpses, in the UCF game, shown glimpses in the first game that we could tackle well. And we just want to be consistent. We want to make sure we're consistent in everything that we do, from an assignment to alignment to technique to tackling. And if we can be consistent in tackling, I think we do have one of the best defenses not only in the conference but in the country. And if we can continue to do that, we'll continue to see strides of this defense taking another step forward.
Ben Perry's obviously had a much bigger role in this defense, and he's another guy that seems to be. How has he kind of taken? I think it's the guard position that he's been playing. How has he taken to that?
He's taken ownership of it. He came here as a safety, and we felt like his best fit would be moving down to that guard spot. And when I say, this young man has done everything in his power to continue to strive to be the best card that he could be. I mean, from a meeting standpoint to taking ownership of his mistakes, he's done a tremendous job, and the guys around him, talk about how smart he is. He's really smart, high IQ football player. And it's exciting to see him have success, in his redshirt freshman year.
Bryan, can you just speak to their quarterback a little bit? And then in the running game, you mentioned, Garwal's was kind of the guy, but they've got a couple freshmen that they saw against Florida State, or they used against Florida State. I expect you probably will see them.
Yeah, quarterback. He has a strong arm. I mean, a true NFL arm, and he can get it to their receivers or tight ends as quickly as he needs to. He does a good job scanning the field, and he does a good job of seeing coverages even post snap. So we have to do a great job of being tight to the fight on receivers, tight ends included. But he has a really strong arm that can get the ball to the receivers, whether it's down the field, across the middle, crossing routes, curls, comebacks. He throws it all. He has a really, really talented arm. And he can pull the ball down and get you some yards in the run game as well if need be. But he's a smart football player that we have to be on our P's and Q's with him. And as far as the running back goes, the two behind him, the young guys, 7 and 20, they have some speed, and that's one thing that, Garwell, he's going to be a downhill runner that wants to run you over, and he wants to, seek contact. These guys a little bit they're gonna try to shake you and juke you and things of that nature, and they don't mind lowering their shoulder as well. I think they have a good core group of running backs, and especially the young guys that we'll be seeing for the near future at BC. Good. All right. Thank you.